What's going on, everybody? Canuck here, and welcome to episode 4 of Course Design 101. And today we are going to put our last critical texture onto this hole, which is our tee boxes. So right now we just have one set of tees. We're going to create multiple sets of tees, add a couple basic tee boxes. I'm going to walk you through how to do that. And we're also going to talk a little bit about playtesting a little bit and looking at different sight lines as well with your course and kind of how to maximize those and avoid things like, unnecessary blind tee shots, for example. We'll talk about the difference between good blind tee shots and not so good blind tee shots, but how to avoid those and just make sure your sculpting is on point. So let's dive right in. So we are here with our singular tee box right now. And before I kind of get into making any tee boxes, I just want to make sure that this is a good spot for maybe a back tee. And most people will probably be playing the back tees on your course. So this needs to be definitely the most important. And I really want to make sure right now that one bunker is in play. So right now we're at about the 250 mark. And I do know that, a lot of players right now are kind of hitting in the 270, 280 range. So right now that's telling me I need to either bring the bunker up or move the tee boxes back. Right now it's probably easier for me to move the tee boxes back, probably about 20 yards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my cursor and I'm going to do the click and hold, and I'm going to move it back maybe about 20 yards. That's about 23 yards. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create a couple very basic tee boxes. So if we go to edit holes and create surfaces, you might notice there is no texture for tee boxes. That is correct. Most people usually use the fairway texture. Some people use green texture, but the majority of people when they're laying down their tee boxes use the fairway surfaces. So what I'm going to do is kind of before I put down a surface, I kind of just want to raise the tee box area up a little bit. So maybe I'm going to probably do two fairly simplistic tee boxes, maybe one here, then maybe one over here, just to the right, about 20 or 30 yards up. There we go, just raising it up a bit. Okay, let's also carve away some of this grass. We don't need any of this right now. So we'll just clear some of these trees away, trees and grass away. Just like this. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I am going to be selecting surfaces. I'm going to select fairway. And again, you can spline or you can brush your tee boxes, whatever you want. Obviously, splines will give you more of a varied, unique looking tee boxes. But if you want just kind of basic brush, like rectangles and, like circles and stuff like that, you're welcome to as well. I'm kind of like the basic tee boxes, to be quite honest, but I do know that my tee boxes do get a little bit samey all the time. So yeah, kind of mix up what you want to do with your tee boxes, but there's nothing wrong with a good rectangular tee box, I find. So I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm going to put another one just where I raised it up about there. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to flatten it out. Really important you flatten out your tee boxes. Yes, I know in real life there are some tee boxes that are not perfectly flat, but we want a flat tee box. We want a flat tee box. So we're going to do that over here, landscape flatten, using that kind of same brush. There we go. Okay, so we kind of see how they're elevated a little bit. I think that looks pretty nice. Okay. So next what we're going to do is we're going to add some more actual tees. So you can, from here, you can quick move, and if you want to bring it forward or back and just kind of fine tune where you want your back tee to go, that's great. But from the cursor menu, just hover over the tee you do have and select hole, whatever, red tee. And then from here, you can move the tee, you can add a new tee, which is what we're going to do. But you can also change the width of the tee as well. You can make it extra wide, or you can even make it really narrow, which is actually new to PGA 2K25 this year. You used to never be able to do that. So yeah, you can make it really wide, and you can make it a lot narrower as well. Another new thing this year is the tee boxes don't automatically have divots on them. That was the annoying thing with previous games. Every single tee box had divots, but now the divots only show up within a certain yardage. So like if your tee box is, the closer to your hole it was, the more divots will show. So I don't think they start showing until about 200 yards, which is perfect. Like would simulate a par 3. Okay, so we're going to add a tee. Let's not worry about the colors and stuff right now. We'll change those in a second. So I'm going to put another one there. I'm going to select that one. We're going to add another tee from here. Throw that down. And then I'll do one more. We'll do 4 sets of tees. Like that. Okay. So if you do want to adjust the color of your tees, you can do that here. So I'm going to select hole 1, red tee. I'm going to go down to tee color. And here you can change it to whatever. I'm actually happy with red for my forward tees. My middle tees are green. Yeah, let's change those to, I don't know, white. And then maybe we have here, these are white. Let's change them to blue. And then these ones we can change to, I don't know, black. And you don't have to do this for every hole. It'll remember it every time. So when I do lay down another hole, I'll just show you as an example here. If I were to lay down another hole, it'll automatically create the 4 holes with the 4 colors. So, and you can adjust them and move them around as needed. So see there they are, the 4 tee boxes. So nice thing to have. All right. Another thing you can do is you don't have to have these actual tee markers. You can select a wide variety of different tee boxes, lots of different looks. You can go for, we've got wood, we've got kind of plastic, we've got stone, we've got a little bit of everything. Colors will change on some of them as well. Not all of them. The wood ones are kind of cool, but really just totally up to you and what you want this to look like. So let's just use those wooden ones for this one. Perfect. Okay, so that's essentially tee boxes. Now let's start talking a little bit about our sight lines. So in order to kind of really get a good sense of this, sometimes this waypoint gets in the way. And what's new this year, and we're going to do a video a little bit more on filters in a future episode, but if I go to manage filters here, I can actually hide this waypoint, which is really handy when I'm really trying to get a look at different sight lines here. So that gives me a lot better look down the tee. And it'll be even better when I go to play test it. Again, something we'll talk more about in future episodes, but I do play test a lot, not only to obviously see how the hole plays, but also to see how things look, both off the tee, approach shots, every possible conceivable angle. I'm looking at a lot of things. So here I'm kind of looking at where's my eye going to be drawn? I mean, probably to that bunker. So right now what I'm seeing, this bunker probably needs to be maybe lowered a little bit, maybe raised at the top a bit. This fairway, I'm probably going to start bringing down a bit, so it's a bit more of an uphill climb. And then maybe some of these hills over here I might bring up a bit as well. So we're going to do that with our sculpting. So I did mention at the beginning of the video about trying to avoid like unnecessarily blind tee shots. And it is probably the biggest mistake I see a lot of new designers make, especially if they haven't auto flattened the plot first, if they're just using the natural rolling hills, because they tend to sculpt up here, but they tend to kind of forget what's in front of them. And they may have this like hill that just looks like that, and they're too busy sculpting up there to really even notice. And then they're teeing off and they've got this pointless hill here. And now, if it was actually part of the design and it made for a strategic, interesting blind tee shot, great. That is not a strategic, interesting blind tee shot, though. So just let me reiterate, blind tee shots can be great, but when it's just because you forgot to sculpt, that is not great. Okay? All right, so let's start kind of playing with the land here to try to improve our sight lines off the tee. So I'm going to use my landscape raise. Make this fuzzy circle brush pretty big and start working my way down here. So you don't have to do much. As you can see, I'm only about working about 4 or 5 feet down. Okay, and then I constantly go back to the tee, and I can already see that's improving it. I might do just a little bit more on this end here. 3 or 4 feet. Just like that. There, that's looking better already. So now that fairway is definitely looking a lot more inviting off the tee. So the bunker I kind of want to deal with here first. Let's get rid of this tree here. It's a bit in the way. There we go. Kind of that shadow is blocking it. Or interfering with it, I should say. So I'm going to landscape raise, and this, again, very, very small edits. Couple feet. Just kind of bringing up the back edge. And I might even look at lowering the front edge a bit, too. Because I really want to show that bunker off, at least for this tee shot. There we go. That looks a lot better now. And then, maybe to the left and right, I might add some more rolling hills over here. Which, again, I didn't do a lot with the plot at the start of the series, so I might have to add in a few more things here. Again, these are just kind of gentle rolling hills, a little bit on the left side. I might do a little bit on the right over here too. Just like this. So don't try to go up 50, 60 feet, and just use these nice, soft, fuzzy brushes, small edits at a time. Yes, it does take a little bit longer, but it looks infinitely better. There we go. We should probably get rid of some of these trees, but that's okay. So then when I am to actually play test this and see the difference, it is pretty drastic. Yeah, that looks quite good. And then from here, I would play test and see if we can hit a fairway here. Beautiful. There we go. And then I would look at my second shot, and again, I would also think about, like, I'm hoping that the fairway here isn't raised too far up, so I don't have another, like not useful blind tee shot, but this is a nice little raised uphill shot to the green. I don't feel like I have to do too much with this shot, if anything at all, so it looks good. But yeah, again, it's I know I remember in previous videos I had mentioned blind tee shots, and everyone's like, blind shots exist. Yes, they definitely exist, but I just want you to avoid ones that you're not putting there on purpose. That's all. All right. And I think that is about it for tee shots and sightlines. So again, we just kind of covered the basics, how to lay down tees, how to lay down tee boxes, and then how to improve your looks off the tee. So thank you guys so much for watching this one. And again, please let me know in the comments, is there anything else that you want me to cover in future episodes? And I look forward to the next one. Thanks for watching.